my name is Irene, and in this video, I'm going to show you how you can use your SketchUp model to quickly generate Autocad drawings. So let's get to it. Alright, so up to this point of our SketchUp journey, when we have had interactions between Autocad and SketchUp, it has been Autocad to SketchUp. So this is a very common practice. And in fact, this is kind of the way that the industry started with SketchUp, which is that you would draw your floor plans, you would draw your elevations, you would draw your details, and then you would bring them into SketchUp to use them as a base to trace, to then build your 3D model. And this kind of made sense because basically the idea was that SketchUp was simply this tool that would allow you to make pretty drawings that you could then show to your clients. And don't get me wrong, SketchUp is very much still used for this purpose. But with the evolution of SketchUp, with the addition of different things and different elements, now what you can do is actually work the other way around. You can start by building your model with full level of detail, and then you can extract AutoCAD drawings from it. So how does this work? Well, the setup is going to be very similar as if you would just be working in SketchUp. You want to build your model with maximum level of detail. You can use your tags, you can use your groups, you can use your components. But then the most important thing is that we are going to want to set up our construction documentation views in SketchUp. That means switching to parallel projection, setting up sections and whatnot. Basically, you want to think about this like you want your SketchUp drawing to look as much as possible like an AutoCAD drawing. Right? Don't worry about style things because things such as materials are not something that is recognized by AutoCAD, so you don't have to worry about setting that up. So once you have created your very complex model and you have created your sections and you have switched to parallel projection and you have created your scenes, this is what's going to happen. You are going to go to File and Export and you're going to go with 2D graphic. But what we're going to do this time is instead of going with an image format such as JPEG or PNG, you can actually go with DWG, which is the format for AutoCAD. So let's say that this is going to be my kitchen elevation. Now, unfortunately, you have to do this one by one. You cannot batch print AutoCAD drawings like we did in my previous video with images, but this is still going to be worth the time. So I'm just saying. Now, you can go before you do your export, you can go here to options and check what are going to be the settings within AutoCAD. So for example, which version of AutoCAD you wanted to export to. Keep this in mind based on whatever version of AutoCAD you have. Release 12. I usually set it to one of the AutoCAD 2000 versions. So let's set it up to the 2000. You can set up your drawing if you already want it to be at a specific scale. I always want my drawings to be 1:1. Because you always should be drawing in AutoCAD at scale 1:1. You can also set up polylines. So for example, these lines that are highlighted thicker in SketchUp would export as polylines. I don't want that because I usually like to control my line thickness with my layers in AutoCAD. You can also set up if you want the white lines to set up as separate entities. So in this case, I'm going to ignore this for the time being. So that's going to be for my profile lines. You get again the same thing with my section lines. So those are these ones that are highlighted here thicker in my sections. And then these extension lines here doesn't make a lot of sense yet because we have not talked about styles, but I will say that in general, in AutoCAD, you do not want to have something such as extension lines. So I would leave these checked out regardless. You can also check on here. So it will give you a prompt if there are hidden lines to ask you if you want to see them or not. I'm going to check this one here. So I'm just going to go here and I'm going to click OK. And now we're going to click export. And once your export is done, it is going to give you this little message that tells you that finish. And now let's go on my folder and see how this looks. So I'm going to open my kitchen elevation. We're going to continue here to open the file. And would you look at that? Wow. Look at all of this level of detail. This is pretty incredible. So again, now what's going to happen is that when you're good enough with SketchUp, you can actually go the other way around. Instead of having to draw all of your CAD drawings and then bring them to create your 3D model, now you're going to create your 3D model. And from that 3D model, you will extract your AutoCAD views if you want them. Now, this is not perfect. There are some limitations to this. Number one, AutoCAD does not recognize SketchUp tags, so it doesn't go the other way around, which means that if you are working with a layer system in AutoCAD, which for the love of Christ you should, then that means that you're going to have to manually start moving things to the specific layer. So see, everything right now is either layer 0 or a section cut edge, or if something is a profile. I don't think I have profiles here. Yeah, if I turn off my profile edges, you see that nothing goes away. But if I turn off my section, you can see that it's basically cutting all of the things that I was cutting through. So again, it's not perfect, but it is better than nothing. The other problem that I tend to have with this method is the fact that there is line overlapping between SketchUp and AutoCAD. So for example, if I click this little line here, you can see it there. But if I come here and I delete it, you're going to see that there's a line behind it. And if I delete that, now we can see. So that can sometimes make assigning layers kind of annoying. So just keep that in mind when you are assigning your layers. And then you're sometimes going to get these kind of like remarks that are from when you're working with curved objects. So a little bit of cleanup is required. It's not like you're going to export it and that's going to be the end of the story. But I still believe that at the end of the day, this can save you a massive amount of time when you're working with construction documentation. If for whatever reason, you have to have your construction documentation specifically in AutoCAD. Okay. But with that, we have reached the end of this video. This one was short and sweet, but I hope that it is still helpful. If you have any questions, by all means, feel free to add them in the comments. You can also give a like and a subscribe. That way you will be notified whenever I post new videos. But otherwise, thank you very much for joining in. Thank you very much for sticking through, and I will see you in the next one. Have a good one. Bye.